Okay, when we open up Azure, we come to our homepage. And like we've talked about before, we have most commonly used services here. And then here we have a list of favorited services. Now, this is not all the services that are available. These are the ones by default when you create your Azure account, it assumes these are the ones you're going to use the most. Okay, but this is not a list of all of the Azure services. There are a whole lot more, and we can find them, favorite them, and kind of customize our Azure working environment a little bit if we want to. So let me show you how we do that. So there's two ways. Number one, I can click on more services, and hey, this is Microsoft, right? Why do one way if we can do it five? We can also come here and we can say all services. Now, either one is going to take us to this point. And this is going to list all of our services. Now, this is going to categorize them, and this is going to be all of our Azure services listed out. And there's a bunch. Now, you'll notice a bunch of these have a little star by it. That means this is my favorited one. And if it's favorited, then it's going to show up over here. So, for example, app services and function app are both favorited, and they both show up right here. I have my little three dots here that'll take me to it. Or let me come back to, go to my app services. I can grab it, move it around. I also have my create view little pop-up thing here. Okay. Now, if I want something removed, let's say I don't want app services and the function app, I can click on those. Those will now be unfavorited, and they will disappear from here. So this allows me to kind of customize my working environment a little bit, which is cool. Now, this is a lot to go through. So let's say, for example, I want to find my general. So I can scroll through here till I find my general heading, or I can come over here and just click general. And that's going to give me anything that's kind of flagged as general. So in here, I've got Azure Resource Management, Billing, Getting Started, and Help and Support. Okay, I do want to show you one thing here that I think is really, really useful if you are starting to learn Azure, or even if you are very comfortable with Azure, but you want to grow a little bit, learn a little bit more, and that is this. This is the education thing. So I'm going to click on education, and now I'm going to see some things here. You will maybe seeing this, you might not, because I have a free student account. So I see my student offer details and things like that. But one of the big things I want you to see is right here. This is our learning resources, and we have them grouped by roles, software, learning, or templates. So I click on roles. This is going to show me a bunch of different Azure roles. If I want to click on learning, and this is one that I think is big, this is going to show me, let me expand that out. This is going to show me a whole bunch of Azure learning resources. Now, if I know what I'm looking for and I don't want to scroll through it, I can kind of search. Let me search for Python, and that's going to give me Python for beginners, discover the role of Python in space education, create data-driven websites using Python. All right, I want to look up Python for beginners. Okay, this is 10 modules, 4 hours, 39 minutes, beginner level, role is developer, and I can click here to launch. So there's a ton of learning resources that we can take advantage of here if we are so inclined. Now, I want to come back to this all services because I just thought of something else that I want to deal with, and that is this. Oh, I'm going to go ahead and favorite that education just so it shows up for me all the time. If I want to try to track something down, there's a whole big long list of things here, right? So let's say I wanted to look for education, but I didn't know where it was. I can just come up here to filter services, and I can type in what I want, and it will take me straight to it. So education, hey, let's see if I can spell it right. Found me the right thing anyway, but anyway. So I have education and then Intune for education. So this will let me filter all of my available services. I can add, remove the ones that I want. Things that I use on a regular basis can pop up here. I can actually rearrange things here. Let me move education up to the top and put it right below all resources I want up there. And this will let me find additional services and then kind of customize the Azure environment for me.